The black angels you were never told about. If you had entered an ancient church in Ethiopia or Sudan 1500 years ago, you would have seen images strikingly different from those displayed in many European museums today. Angels portrayed with dark skin and African features. Why have you never encountered a black angel in your own church? Not in a single painting, stained glass window, or illustration from Sunday school. Have you ever paused to wonder why? Virtually every angel you've seen throughout your life has featured blonde hair, pale skin, and European characteristics. But here's what was rarely shared. The Bible itself describes angels with skin resembling burnished bronze, and feet like glowing brass. These aren't interpretations. They're straight from Scripture, such as Daniel 10:6 and Revelation 1:15, often cross-referenced with similar imagery. Bronze and brass tones are brown, deep metallic brown, not white. Before dismissing this as mere speculation, recognize that what follows is grounded in verifiable sources. Artifacts in museums, ancient churches predating most European ones, and manuscripts preserved for over 1500 years. The earliest Christian states emerged in Africa. Ethiopia adopted Christianity in 330 AD, earlier than much of Europe, as noted by the 4th century historian Rufinus. Nubian kingdoms erected grand cathedrals comparable to Rome's. In those ancient African churches, angels appear black, not vaguely brown or unclear, but clearly dark-skinned with African traits and Afro-textured hair. These aren't recent creations for modern sensibilities. They are ancient relics, some exceeding 1,000 years in age. They exist today, you can view them, but they were seldom highlighted in education. Why were entire Christian civilizations omitted from what you learned? Why were biblical references to dark-skinned angels reframed as symbolic of radiance? Why did Renaissance painters begin rendering every sacred figure as European? And why does raising these points provoke discomfort? The response may unsettle, because what was sidelined wasn't merely art. It was heritage, identity, and belonging in the faith. For centuries, black Christians have worshipped amid imagery that rarely mirrored them, subtly implying that sanctity appears white. That assumption is inaccurate. Today, that assumption can be challenged through documented history, scriptural analysis, archaeological finds, and scholarly insights that upend conventional views of angels. This isn't conjecture. It's substantiated. We'll examine 4 key sources you can check independently. First, the Bible. Examine the original Hebrew and Greek terms for angelic appearances. The color references are precise, not purely metaphorical. In Daniel 10:6, the angel's arms and legs resemble burnished bronze, where the Hebrew nekosef kalal denotes polished, darkened metal, a brown hue, per lexicons like halot, emphasizing a gleaming yet dark tone consistent with ancient Near Eastern descriptions. Second, the Ethiopian Orthodox Church, among the world's oldest Christian bodies. Its manuscripts, churches, and art predate European Christianity by centuries. Depictions consistently show angels as black, not due to adaptation, but proximity to the faith's origins geographically and historically, more so than Renaissance Italy. Third, the Nubian Christian kingdoms. For roughly 800 years, 6th to 14th centuries, in present-day Sudan, they constructed cathedrals and produced remarkable frescoes. Excavations reveal hundreds of images of Archangel Michael, Gabriel, cherubim, and seraphim, with dark brown to black skin. These are housed in museums now, searchable and viewable. Fourth, trace the shift. How Renaissance Europe standardized religious imagery. Colonial interests minimized black angels to support slavery, and Eurocentric academia reshaped history. This is recorded by historians, not guesswork. By the end, you'll grasp not only what was concealed, but the mechanisms of suppression, who gained from it, and why reclaiming this truth fosters accuracy over division. It's about embracing Christianity's full global, multi-ethnic reality, rooted in Africa and the Middle East, not solely Europe. This is heritage for everyone. whether black and reconnecting with ancestors who shaped the faith, or from any background realizing church history's greater diversity. This holds significance. Truth matters. Especially now amid 2026 policies reducing DEI efforts. Historical education funding, including HBCU support cuts around 20%, and UNESCO involvement risks to sites like Lalibela, factors Pew Research links to potential youth disengagement in black churches. This isn't speculation. It's evidence from 4 verifiable areas. Start with scripture. Turn to Daniel 10:6. The angel's body like topaz, face like lightning, eyes like flaming torches, arms and legs like burnished bronze's gleam, voice like a crowd. Notice the arms and legs, burnished bronze. Bronze, when polished, darkens to brown, not a glow. The Hebrew specifies Nekosheth Kalal, bronze metal burnished, indicating darkened gleaming metal, not abstract light. Hebrew has distinct terms for brightness, used for the face, but here it's material color, brown-toned. Revelation 1:15 echoes this. Feet like burnished brass from a furnace. Refined metal with deep brown richness. These comparisons fit the ancient author's world, where dark skin was familiar among Middle Eastern, African, and Mediterranean peoples. Song of Solomon 1:5-6 affirms dark skin positively. I am dark but lovely, darkened by the sun. Ezekiel 1:7 describes cherubim feet gleaming like burnished bronze. Same imagery for powerful angels. The Ethiopian Bible preserves Enoch, detailing angels akin to dark stones or polished ebony, aligning with local understanding. Why weren't these taught as literal in many churches? The narrative was shaped by cultural lenses that struggled with non-European divine imagery. The Bible arose in Africa and the Middle East. Israel near Egypt, trading with Ethiopia, mentioned 40+ times. Moses marrying a Cushite, Numbers 12:1. Early church spreading through North Africa first. Ethiopia, Acts 8 Ethiopian eunuch baptized early. Official adoption 330 AD under King Izana. Ethiopian art reflected their reality. Black angels, Jesus, Mary, bold, with African features in Lalibela's rock-hewn churches. 12th to 13th centuries, UNESCO site. Manuscripts showing Afro-textured hair, dark tones. These predate European white angels by centuries, closer to origins. Why invisible in Western narratives? European dominance in wealth, colonialism, academia marginalized them as regional, not universal. Nubia, Sudan, kingdoms Nobatia, Makuria, Alodia, 6th to 14th centuries. Built cathedrals, resisted invasions. Pharas Cathedral frescoes, excavated 1960s, now Warsaw Museum. 169 paintings, many dark-skinned angels, Mary, black infant Jesus. Old Dongola Archangel Michael, rich brown skin, African features, 9th to 11th centuries. Recent finds, 2021 Banganati, 2025 Dongola, confirm consistent dark depictions. Rediscovered art often downplayed as crude against European standards. Sidelined in history. Ancient context. Levant diverse. Trade with Egypt, Nubia, Ethiopia. Dark skin normal. Bronze comparisons logical for local audiences. Moses' Cushite wife. Ebed Melech, the Ethiopian rescuing Jeremiah. Honored Africans in scripture. Shift timeline. Early Christianity multicultural. Diverse Byzantine mosaics, African art. Renaissance 14th century. Italian artists use local models, European figures. Printing press 1440s spread European images widely. Counter-Reformation standardized them. Colonization, slave trade, justified racial hierarchy via white holiness imagery. Black angels would undermine it. Missionaries Europeanized African traditions. Scholars reinterpreted bronze as radiance, not color. Who benefited? European churches centralized authority. Colonizers justified exploitation. Academics gatekept knowledge. And missionaries redefined art for power. Art publishing markets valued European works over African. Consequences. Black Christians faced imagery implying they didn't fully belong. Spiritual psychological harm, internalized standards, or disengagement. Pew notes youth declines, worsened by 2026 economic education pressures. Yet resilience. Black churches are sanctuaries affirming dignity. Christianity loses depth, missing Ethiopian, Nubian theology, liturgy. Credibility erodes when incompleteness revealed. History fails by omitting African empires. What now? Acknowledge, study scripture afresh. Visit museums, Faras frescoes. Learn Ethiopian, Nubian traditions. Teach inclusively. This is Christian history. Global, diverse, truthful. In 2026, amid tensions echoing Nubia's past resistances, reclaiming it counters division, honors the full story.